Brothers in misery. Your home has been much more peaceful for the last year. The fights between Stefan and Gloria are not as fierce now. But how long will this last? Your job takes up all your time. You see your parents and siblings less and less often. Sometimes you don't even know what they are doing while you deal with the constant stream of duties. This morning, you head out on urgent business. You take one step out of the gate and run into a uniformed gendarme. Oh, I've seen your portrait before, anyways. Brian Brante, your presence is requested at the prefecture dungeon. Oh, we've got a prefecture dungeon? Sweet. Taken back, you ask what this is about. We have your brothers, Stefan and Nathan, Brante in a cell. They were arrested last night at the Steiner's Inn. They asked us to send for you. See, Nathan I might expect, but what did you do, Stefan? The cells in the prefecture dungeon are cold and damp. The guards lead you to the bars, and behind them you see Nathan huddled in the corner. Your younger brother is unshaven, more disheveled than usual, and reeking of wine and filth. Near the cell you see Stefan, grimly sitting in a chair. You guess that the gendarmes thought it best not to put him in the same cell as his low-born brother. Upon seeing you, Nathan lets out a whimper, and Stefan cracks a bitter smile. The sheath on your brother's belt is empty. There you are at last. Brian, have a look at your younger brother. Yesterday he got drunk in the company of some dubious fellows. They are commoners, yet they dared to surrender to pleasure. They started a brawl, wrecked the inn, and harassed a waitress. As soon as I heard, I rushed to save this drunkard from shame. Nathan cowers into the corner, horror-struck. I walked in and demanded that Nathan come with me, but his cronies wouldn't let him go. That's all true. You just grabbed me by the collar and dragged me after you. You nearly suffocated me. Shut your mouth, guy! So, brother, they seem to have some sort of sect. They're all shouted defamations against the twin gods, and one of them grabbed me by the arm. I was forced to skewer this heretic with my sword. I hope a lesser death will teach him never to lay his filthy paws on a nobleman. He was just trying to talk to you, Stefan. Silence! Then the gendarmes barged in, and here we are. I've been accused of an unlawful murder. Apparently the new laws allow killing a commoner only if he attacks first or wields a weapon. They say that in the event of an insult, I'm supposed to file a complaint with the prefecture. So now, they're going to seize my sword for a whole year. What a shame. It's all your fault, Nathan. Stefan gives the bars a furious kick. Nathan covers his face with his hands in despair. Brian, brother, you are our only hope. Get me my sword back and get us out of here. And fast. We have to bury this sordid affair as deep as we can before anyone finds out. Save our family from shame. Okay, well, I'll see what I can do, Stefan. What can I do? Well, I can't blackmail, because I don't have the path of the Lawless. Cool. I can't take them to the Inquisition, because I don't have the path of the Priest. I could ask Father for help. Reputation would be tarnished. Unity would be broken. Manipulation would go up. And my brothers would appreciate it, but my father would, not like it. I could refuse to help and just let our reputation crater. Get a bit of willpower, but yeah, that doesn't seem great. Or I can use my authority. Yeah, justice would go down a bit. And this is actually because I have 5 or greater career, so it's a good thing we haven't completely abandoned that. My eloquence would go up. Augustine would not like it, but my brothers would be appreciative. So I guess the big question here is reputation and unity, or justice. And honestly, look, it's a bit... I can't just not help them. That's just... I gotta look out for my family here. Yes, it's mildly corrupt or whatever, but they're my brothers. I'll do what I can. I'll use my authority. But guys, please, try to behave yourselves in the future. I can't keep doing this for you. You command the gendarmes to give the nobleman Stefan Brante his sword back at once. He has not broken any law and must be freed. As for Nathan Brante, you will personally cover the damage the inn has sustained. This is no reason to keep the son of a noble family behind bars. But Your Honor! So Stefan ran that man through right before our eyes. The law says... You glare furiously at the captain. That commoner, a heretic no less, dared to assault a born noble and grab his arm. Or does Lindarn claim to know the law better than Judge Brante? Remembering his position, the gendarme nods obediently and returns Stefan's confiscated sword. And to be fair, it's not an unreasonable take. A grab of the arm, that could lead into some grappling, which, that's legitimate combat there. Is the running him through a bit of an overreaction? Yes. But nobles have very liberal self-defense privileges in this fine nation, and that is what the law reflects, and that is what I will say. I knew I could count on you, Brian. Not just my brother after all, but also a nobleman yourself. You know that honor is always paramount. Stefan sheaths his sword reverently as Nathan is led out of his cell. The elder brother takes the younger by the scruff of his neck and pulls him to the door. Nathan staggers and shuffles along limply. You manage to conceal the disgraceful occurrence from all of your relatives, with the exception of Sir Elborn. The prefect is very displeased with your abuse of power, but needless to say, he does not order his nephew Stefan to be returned to his cell. Back home, Stefan starts lecturing Nathan. From now on, there will be no more drinking bouts or other nocturnal exploits. Who are those rogues you're befriending anyway? Stop shaming this family. If you're so worthless, at least let others go about their business in peace. Do you understand, you blockhead? Nathan remains silent, staring despondently somewhere above him. Oh man, Nathan, where did everything go wrong? You're a pious kid, but you're a promising kid back in the day. A bit meek, but plenty of kids are. Man. Augustine, I'm sorry. Yeah. A bit more eloquent, though. The case of Father Mark. Your most recent year of service at the prefecture has seen an increase in litigation on crimes against the church. More and more people are joining the ranks of the new faith in Anazote. The movement began with destitute beggars who had nothing to lose, but for years now, many well-off commoners and new nobles have been joining the fold. People say the leader of the new faith in Anazote is Father Lennart, the abbot of the temple at the Silver Tree. The city's leaders would love to expel him, but he is too highly regarded by the common folk. Complaints and cases of defiance of one's lot keep pouring in. Every day somebody is reported by their neighbors for heresy. Many commoners adherents of the old faith fear that such flagrant defiance of the lots will usher in the prophesied wrath of the gods. However, you and the judges have no choice but to reject most of these cases as a secular institution. The prefecture has no authority when it comes to crimes against the faith. Only the church and the inquisition have any say there. In the middle of another busy day at the prefecture office, the door suddenly swings open. A tall gendarme wearing an officer's uniform walks in. He takes off his helmet, adjusts his short, fair hair, and bows to you hastily. Captain Leonard reporting, Your Honor. My boys finally got Father Mark, the dreaded apostate heretic. The prefect told us to take him to you for judgment. You, bring him in. Two gendarmes bring in a short, stout man, wearing a worn, dirty priest cassock. Priests wear the sacred symbol of the twins, a cross within a circle, but this man does not. Forced to sit before you, this odd-looking priest is none the less strangely undisturbed by his arrest. His eyes, curious and glimmering with life, study you intensely. This is him, Father Mark in the flesh. We got him trying to preach the teachings of his smack in the middle of a drinking hole from a lowborn in the Grey District. Some guy took offense and called the gendarmes, and we got here right away. Father Mark, you've heard the name ever since you were a child. His cult of rejection of the twins has expanded tenfold over the past several years, with nobles, commoners, and even other priests joining his flock. The Inquisition has hunted this heretical apostate for years, but Father Mark has always eluded capture. Until now. Some say he has powerful protectors. Here are the statements from people at the establishment, Your Honor. You flip through pages of handwritten statements. Father Mark isn't just preaching, he is even openly defying not only the lots, but even the twins themselves. Father Mark teaches that the gods have neither design nor purpose for us, so we are under no obligation to serve them or prepare our souls for the hereafter. You put the papers away, ready to question the profane priest. What was the subject of his sermons? What was he trying to convince his listeners to do? Father Mark prefaces his answer with a dazzling smile. As a judge, it's your duty to enforce secular law. You know as well as I do that I have broken no such law. I'm a priest, my friend, and in the Empire, priests are allowed to preach. I was preaching the proper way to live one's worldly life, for this is the only existence we have. I told my listeners not to waste their lives serving those gods. The twins surely love us, but alas, their love violates us as much as their law. This entire world is proof of that. I see my words upset you, but I'm afraid you can't judge me guilty for that. Here's why. You see, mine is the priestly lot. If the judgment of the church is to be trusted, which means that only the Inquisition tribunal may find me guilty. So, you could hand me over to those black-clad thugs, but alas, you get absolutely nothing in return. The Inquisition wants to light their pyres in every corner of Anazutte, and all they need for that is me. As soon as they get me, the Inquisition will tell the prefecture to step aside and start enforcing the law themselves. Is that what you want, my friend? So what are you to do with me? Well, let's think about it. As a secular judge, you can't judge me guilty, but giving me to the Inquisition will weaken the prefecture. And so, my friend, everybody will be better off if you just set me free. Trust an old philosopher. It's better for me, better for your prefect, and better for you as well. Surprisingly, the gendarme captain smiles, knowingly at these words. He leans over and whispers a few words into your ear. You cannot help but notice the scars all over his neck. Let's say the old heretic's right, Your Honor. If he's still got the priestly lot, he's the Inquisition's problem. It's too dangerous for the prefecture to meddle in churchly affairs. And strictly between you and me, if the reports I've been getting are to be trusted, this here Mark's been rubbing elbows with Patriarch Cassius himself. Letting him go might get us on his good side. And Sir Patriarch's a very wealthy man. But suddenly the captain's voice trails off as the door to your office opens without warning. There's a young woman at the door, clothed in a black cassock and bearing the telltale silver seal of the Inquisition. I am Sister Janine, Your Honor. I serve the Order of the Inquisition. That stern face, those piercing brown eyes, they seem somehow familiar. Of course, this is the young acolyte girl from the temple at the Silver Tree. The one you saw during that school visit. She's an inquisitor now. Good for her. Your men did well to track down and arrest Father Mark. Splendid. We've been hunting this false preacher for a long time. As I'm sure you know, the priests may not be judged by secular laws, Your Honor. Mark has denigrated the twins and called for the people to reject them. He's broken his sacred vows and defiled his lots. You'll face the tribunal of the Inquisition for this transgressions. The man before you is a great threat to the people of Anazutte, Judge Brante. His words lead people astray. His speeches doom them to eternal suffering at the foot of the pillar. Only the Church knows the way to end his heresy. You hand Father Mark over to me at once. Sister John remains in the doorway, wordlessly refusing to leave the prefecture without the captured heretic. The gendarme and the captain stand still awaiting your orders. Father Mark is lounging in the chair, enjoying himself, and eyeing you curiously, waiting for your decision on this contentious situation. Okay, so the default option here is to send them to the Inquisition. Church would go down. Hold on, let me see what that actually means. That's under the province. Okay, so... Huh? So, church is at -2. Oh, okay, so that would get us closer to the Old Faith. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, we can judge him. Get some diplomacy. Jean would not like that. Justice would go up, career would go down. Can set him free. That would set us towards the New Faith a bit more. Career would go down, wealth would go up, scheming would go up. We can prosecute the case with the Inquisition, so like a joint venture. Career would go up, justice would go down. Theology would go up, eloquence would go up. This is a tough one. Okay, so let's just get one thing straight. We have no straight up gains for our occupation. The church stuff, yeah, honestly, maybe I've, like... Let's just put it this way. The politics of the church isn't my first concern. So I'm not too concerned about the top line issue of the church. I would be quite hesitant about picking an option like just setting him free. It does give us some wealth and scheming. However, I don't like the... Since these occupation things are so often trade-offs, I don't like the idea of just straight up losing one. Not to mention the career is kind of useful. I do not know. Right now I'm thinking either I prosecute the case with the Inquisition, or I judge him. In this case, because here's my logic. Because basically, the real thing I'm weighing here is, do I want to have 5-4 with career higher or 5-4 with justice higher? And here's my logic. Career is going to be the thing that when we've got these trade-offs is normally the thing where it's like, yeah, go against the authorities, which is kind of, can be dangerous and risky in the pursuit of justice. So that to me makes career, if we can have it... Well, wait, hold on. No, wait. Okay, here's my idea. Okay. Justice. We'll go with the one, we'll judge him ourselves. Gets our diplomacy up to 20, which I guess is theoretically going to be good. And reason being, I think it's better to have the justice a bit higher up. Because I think justice is going to be the one that's more often going to be like, well, I don't really want to lose justice, but I don't really want to get on people's bad side either. So I think we build up justice on some of these cases where honestly the results don't seem that bad. I mean, like, oh, woohoo, I lose a relationship with Gian. I barely know her anyways. So we use these safe decisions to increase our justice. That way, if we need to compromise later, we've got the extra justice to where we're not just turning into a complete monster with regards to our career. So, yeah, we'll judge him. You order the gendarmes to put Father Mark in jail. The priest just shakes his head slowly and sadly. The gendarme captain smirks slyly at Sister Jean and tells his men to put the priest in shackles. As you wish, Your Honor. The mere sight of Father Mark being taken away by the law sends Sister Jean into an apoplectic fit of rage. How dare you defy the judgment of the Inquisition? You have no right to judge a priest. Not even such an erring heretic as Mark. Only other priests may pronounce judgment upon a priest. You have clearly forgotten your own lot if you see it otherwise. Know this, Sir Brante. The Inquisition will not forget this outrage. We will do what it takes to get you dismissed. Oh, wow. After John finally storms out, you head for Elborn's office. Thanks to the firm guidance of the prefect and your verdicts as a judge, the rule of law in the province has been on the rise. Even nobles can be seen falling in line and acknowledge the prefecture's authority. Could this be the time to take another step forward and make the priest acknowledge secular law just as they accept the divine law? That was quite brazen of you, Brante. Defying the Inquisition like that, it could cost you dearly. But I'm on your side in this matter. Father Mark will set an ideal precedent. A priest judged by imperial law rather than a church tribunal. The man you caught is an apostate and a heretic, so the Inquisition will provide no legal defense. This all but ensures a guilty verdict. Permission granted, Brante. Prepare the case. To ensure that the Inquisition has no time to intervene, you schedule the trial as soon as possible. But even with these precautions, the courtroom on the day of the trial is a strange sight to see. Outraged priests and odd-looking commoners fill the stalls. Now and again you hear the cries. Some demand you hand over Father Mark to the Inquisition, while others shout in support of the apostate. Mark himself is quiet and utterly calm, his arms folded across his chest. The time for the verdict has come. Instead of heresy, you accuse Father Mark of inciting rebellion against the Emperor's rule. In his sermons, Mark told people to reject the twins, but the Tempest dynasty was chosen to rule by the twins themselves. Therefore, his call to reject the twins represents an act of rebellion against the Tempest dynasty and the Empire as a whole. Checkmate, Father Mark. You thus conclude that Father Mark is an insurgent and a traitor, a crime that falls within the authority of the prefecture. Your speech has the Board of Justice backed against the wall. Despite their better judgment, they are now obligated to side with you instead of the Inquisition. Through clenched teeth, they accept your arguments for persecuting Father Mark in a secular trial. The verdict has been rendered. We persecuted him in a secular trial. Good job, guys. Well then, your honors, I hope your ambition has been duly satisfied, and your authority duly enforced. But alas, every single one of you is still a puppet of the alien will of the gods. It's time to hand me over to the Inquisition. After all, only the Church knows the proper punishment for me. Odd for the heretic to be openly advocating to be handed over to the Inquisition. The gendarmes unceremoniously stuff a gag in Father Mark's mouth to protect society from his heretical notions. Sister John is waiting right outside the courtroom, an inscrutable expression on her face. She takes custody of Father Mark, now a convict, and leads him to the dungeon of the Inquisition for his long overdue punishment. Shortly after, you learn that your father was just one of the judges on the Board of Justice. That was some trial, and it was led by my own son of all people, a priest convicted by the prefecture. Our province has never seen anything like this before. Many judges are bound to hold a grudge against you for making us clash with the Inquisition. As for me, I'm proud you saw the case through to the very end. We'll succeed, no matter what fate has in store for us. Okay. We are a masterful diplomat now. Awesome. Amazing.